At the moment, more than 300 million people around the world own Bitcoin. Only about 2 million people own XRP. Think about that for a moment. Picture yourself in a stadium with 40,000 other people. There are a lot of people there, but only about 10 of them own XRP. You don't see many people with XRP these days. Now comes the best part. If XRP became as famous as Bitcoin, the price would change by a lot. There would be changes in the market that had never been seen before in the area of crypto. Today I'm going to show you why the next few years for XRP could be the most exciting ever. Take note that this is not money advice. This is the truth. There are only 0.02% to 0.22% of people in the world who hold XRP. Bitcoin is very popular, and 4% of people in the world own it. Based on how you count accounts that aren't being used, around the world, only 1.5 to 2 million real people own XRP. This is after getting rid of the wallets that have very small amounts of XRP that haven't been moved in years. Now things start to get interesting. Let's say that the number of people who own XRP goes from 2 million to 338 million. That's about the same amount of people who own Bitcoin. That means 168 times as many individual holders. The price of an item that is hard to get could go to levels that don't seem possible right now if there is a sudden rise in desire for it. It's even better that this is real. Moving up or down the curve for crypto usage, quickly. We've seen it before. People, the economy, and society all need to work together for this to happen quickly. Months, not decades. Another thing we should talk about is matching. If you want to really get ahead of these kinds of changes, you should buy the assets that have the most upside potential before anyone else does. This is why I made Find 100x Stocks, the best investment guide for getting rich. It's a huge collection of papers, charts, pictures, videos, and in-depth study that will help you figure out where the next big star might come from. The link isn't working in the first message. Get it now while it's still available. This is because this is the tool you'll use to take advantage of opportunities if you're an owner who doesn't want to miss them. Now let's talk about XRP again. These are the facts. By 2027, there will be 8.37 billion people living in the world. About the same number of people use XRP as use Bitcoin, 4%. That means that 335 million people own it. A lot of people want to buy. From 2 million to 335 million. XRP could go into the triple digits with this kind of rise, even in models that aren't very bullish. Thoughts on how much each token will be worth? Some say $1,007 if 100 million people own it, and over $600 million if XRP becomes as famous as Bitcoin. That's not even counting the uses that XRP is being set up for right now. What about those people who are getting benefits? Cash transfers between banks, FX deals between institutions, and stablecoin trading can all be done very quickly and for very little money. The government, banks, and payment networks all want things like that to be useful. The machines are being built in the background right now. DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Company, is a good example. It is what keeps the U.S. financial markets running. It has talked in public about putting assets worth $100 trillion on the chain as notes. They've said out loud that the T+1 deal isn't enough. They want blockchain lines to be used to settle deals right away. These people have. Also put in patents. You can see that they've tried XRP, XLM, Hair, and a few other assets if you look at them. Think about that for a moment. The DTCC clears more than $2 quadrillion worth of stock deals every year. They keep track of all the U.S. stocks that are bought and sold, and Ripple has worked with them for a long time. One person who used to run DTCC is now on Ripple's board. It will be very bad for if even a small part of that $100 trillion planned to tokenize goes through XRP lines. Ask for. Not only that, it's getting harder to ignore the clear signals coming from the ETF area. It is now okay with the SEC to turn the Bitwise 10 into an ETF that holds XRP. There isn't yet a spot ETF, but there is a crack in the wall. It's not a question of whether or not there will be an XRP ETF. The question is when retail inflows, institutional adoption, and media attention all happen at the same time. Things are getting hot, even on Facebook. There isn't in the picture. A military-style gas can on the side of an old pickup truck has a big, bold X stamped on it. This, along with references to Ripple in the post, has made people wonder if it's a sneaky dig at XRP. It might not be anything, or it could be a warning that goes around before big news tales. People who know not to. The big picture is not going in a straight line, but going up and up and up. A spot ETF could be allowed, DTCC could go live with tokenized settlement rails, and a lot of small buyers could buy utility-driven assets. If these things happen, XRP's growth curve could change in months instead of years. It has been seen in the past that price discovery doesn't happen slowly when demand for a crypto product with a limited supply goes through the roof. It happens quickly. This makes us want to find out more about the numbers and see how much XRP the 2 million active users really have right now. Learn how that spread changes as the number of holders grows, as well as the exact changes in market cap that come with each major usage milestone. Let us break this down. The number of XRP tokens in use right now is about 55 billion. That means it's worth tens of billions of dollars on the market right now. Good for an altcoin, but not very big read at the level it says to. A lot of people miss this. It's not enough to just multiply price by number to get market capitalization. It really does depend on how much the last buyer is willing to pay. And crypto markets are known for being very thin compared to stock or trade markets around the world. This means that when demand goes up, prices don't change the same way, especially when the demand comes from somewhere other than shopping. Instead, prices change very quickly, just in case. For starters, there will be 100 million XRP wallets, up from about 2 million right now. That's still not even close to Bitcoin, but 50 times as many people are using it. This could push the market cap into the $10 trillion range, which would make each XRP worth about $177. This is based on how wallets are currently spread, how inflows usually happen, and how adoption curves have changed in the past. That doesn't even account for big supply burns or the huge amount of traffic that comes through the network for institutional payments. In the second case, things go crazy. XRP has the same number of users as Bitcoin, which is 335 million users, or 4% of all people in the world. That means 168 times as many individual holders. The market value of XRP will reach $35 trillion, and each token will be worth about $600. To get an idea of how big that is, imagine combining the current market values of Bitcoin and Ethereum into a single product. In the past, these numbers have not been this big. Now, someone who is new to crypto might think they are. Bitcoin was worth less than $1 billion on the market in 2013. It had grown to more than $1 trillion by 2021. Ethereum was only worth $15 million on the market in 2007. It had grown to more than $200 billion by 2021. It was worth more than $500 billion at its highest point. In either case, the reason wasn't just a guess. It was adoption meeting not having enough money. You can use both of those on XRP. Plus, you can settle with it in the real world, which you can't do with those other things. The asymmetric gain is in the fact that it is useful. Banks can send money to each other, receive money, settle transactions in stablecoins, and make quick moves that don't cost much. Not much. These are not on joke coins. The way banks work is broken in a way that costs $1 trillion. It's now being run by groups that are also making the rails to fix the issues. The DTCC stands for the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. This banking company doesn't have a small cap. Stock markets in the US stay open because of it.